Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. This car's registered CU63HDG, and mileage currently showing is 46,660 miles. The reason we do these videos is essentially so if anyone's looking at the car in an advert online, they actually get to see that very car in operation. We feel it's really important because we know to our cost, unfortunately, how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look fine in the photographs and in the description given, only to get there and find out that it's got an issue with the car, or a warning light on or something like that, which you clearly should have been told about before setting off. So hence that's why we do it. It's also done on these quiet country roads, and this is part of the test drive route any prospective buyer would go on. The reason for that is hopefully then it would be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. A very well looked after car from new, and feels it straight away because it's just as tight as a drum. Absolutely fantastic. We've just serviced it, and it's going to be going after this video for a full independent MOT, so it'll all be thoroughly checked prior. But as I always do, starting with the engine, starts first push of the button, because obviously it's keyless start and keyless entry on these EX models. Settles to an absolutely smooth, even idle. No warning lights on the dashboard at all related to the engine or any other part of the car. The engines are absolutely brilliant. They really are. It's so smooth in operation. On the move, it's virtually petrol-like in the way it sounds. Only at the lower gears and lower RPMs would you sort of notice diesel, but it gives a lovely power delivery as well. It's got smooth all the way through the power band, with a sort of a seamless surge of power rather than the kind of the peaks and troughs you get with so many of its competitors' cars. They are cam chain driven, no cam belt services to worry about on these, and being a Honda, they've got a reputation for reliability and durability that's absolutely unmatched in its class. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch in the car, absolutely perfect. Bite point's exactly where it's meant to be. So all good there. Gearbox, I've always eulogised about how good this gearbox is, and this is no different. It's just a wonderful gear change, regardless of the type of car it is. It's short and throw, snappy, precise, brilliant synchro mesh. It's just a wonderful, wonderful gear change. It also exhibits absolutely no wear. I think the gear linkage feels exactly as it would have done when it was new. Steering of the car, again, can feel absolutely no wear in it at all. Feels as really tight on the road. It's a lovely power steering system because it's light enough to be very manoeuvrable, but it's heavy enough to give you a feeling of security. It doesn't wander about. It makes the car feel nice and heavy and secure on the road. It's a really lovely system. It also tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at all coming back to the steering wheel at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. Just click my foot, got a bad foot at the moment. Chassis of the vehicle, again, Honda know this market so well. The CR-V is the best selling SUV in the world, so they obviously know what their customers like. And what they give you is a car that goes through corners like this with minimal fuss, minimal body roll, and more importantly, less body motion than you get in some competitors' cars, which means the rear seat passengers in particular don't tend to suffer from motion sickness in quite the same way. It also gives you the really lovely, compliant, well-damped ride. It's very, very comfortable indeed across most surfaces, and they've judged it absolutely perfectly. Also, again, on test drive, just checking out for any sort of knocks or clonks coming from underneath the vehicle, of which there's nothing at all. It's exactly as it should be. Just going to get to this corner and give the brakes a bit of a shove. I know they're good, but yeah, it's a really nice solid brake pedal on the car. Bites nicely without being over aggressive, but also exhibits no pulsing or vibration come back through the brake pedal at all, which is the thing you don't want to feel in the brake pedal, of course. Looking around inside, the first thing that strikes you when you drive these cars, as much as anything else, is the feeling of solidity in them. It's a 7-year-old car, and there isn't a hint of a squeak or a rattle from the interior. They are beautifully made. I've got one of these myself, well, my wife has. She's done 100,000 miles, exactly the same model, and it feels exactly the same as this. They just don't seem to wear it. They're incredibly durable cars. There's also wonderful visibility, huge wing mirrors, lovely view of the bonnet outside, and really good vision around at 360 degrees. Dashboard itself, again, it just looks absolutely as new in here. Really nice dash to use because it doesn't intimidate. It's one of these dashboards where anyone can just jump in and drive it. Sat-nav's simplicity itself to operate, as is the climate control system, which is dual zone, so you can have different temperatures side to side, and it's pumping out absolutely ice cold air. Switch gear is of the very highest quality, beautifully damped, really, it's precision made, it's beautifully done. Dashboard, say simplicity itself just gives you all the information you require and no more, which is what I love. Steering wheel, I've always liked on these because it's small in diameter. I don't know why some manufacturers seem in cars like this to give you big chunky truck-like ones. This makes the car feel so much more manoeuvrable when driving along, and it feels like new in hand, and all its controls, the hands-free, cruise and multifunction stuff, all working exactly as intended. The EX models are all four-wheel drive, and as you'll no doubt have noticed, there are no buttons to press for four-wheel drive on the car because the car does it for you. Honda worked out very quickly that most people buying this type of car would be driving in conditions like this, perfectly good conditions where there was no requirement for four-wheel drive at all. So rather than, unlike some competitors which run in permanent four-wheel drive, it runs in front-wheel drive, the most efficient way to pull a car along. By doing that, it minimises fuel use, tyre wear and mechanical stress going through the car. Should it need to come into four-wheel drive, it does it automatically and just is seamless in the way it does it. I tow a caravan with mine and I've never come close to getting stuck with it. It just grips and goes as soon as the front wheel starts to lose a tiny bit of grip, and it disengages just as quickly. The simplicity of the system gives it its reliability. They are incredibly reliable. We've never so much as put a spanner on the four-wheel drive system on a Honda using this system over the last 20 years rather. As I said at the start of the video, it is brief, but it's just to show you the car in operation. It drives absolutely perfectly. There is no issues with the car at all. It feels tight, taut, doesn't feel as though it's hardly turned a wheel. As always though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.